You're not crazy for wanting stability, okay? Let's start there. Most of us were raised on the same blueprint, and I mean the exact same script. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, stay loyal, work 30 years, retire safely. Boom. That was a deal. That was the promise. Stability equals security. Security equals success. Period. And if you followed that path, or you're trying to follow it right now and something still feels off, you're not imagining it. You're not ungrateful, you're not lazy, you're not bad with money. Maybe you wake up every Monday feeling grateful you have a job, but also low-key trapped by it. Maybe your salary goes up slowly, but your expenses, man, they rise faster than gas prices. Maybe you've been stable for years, doing everything right, yet real financial freedom still feels far away, like way out there. Maybe you're one layoff, one medical bill, one unexpected hit away from straight stress mode. And that tension, that quiet anxiety sitting under the surface of your stable life, yeah, that's what we're unpacking today. Because there's a difference, a big one, between income stability and financial security. And confusing the two might be one of the most expensive misunderstandings of our generation. No exaggeration. Now, imagine we're standing in front of a whiteboard together. I draw a straight horizontal line. On the left side, I write stable job. On the right side, I write financial freedom. Now, here's the real question. Does one automatically lead to the other? We've been taught that it does. That if you just keep your head down, grind it out, collect that paycheck, everything works out. But in reality, that line, it's not straight. It bends, it detours. Sometimes it loops you in circles. Sometimes it stalls out completely. Let's talk about the feeling first. A stable job feels safe because it gives predictable income. You know what's hitting your account every 2 weeks. That predictability lowers anxiety. It helps you plan. It gives structure. And humans, we love structure. We love knowing what's coming. But here's the hidden tension, and this part matters. Predictability of income does not mean predictability of wealth growth, not even close. If your income is fixed, your upside is capped. Promotions, limited. Raises, controlled. Bonuses, conditional. You trade volatility for ceilings, and ceilings, they're invisible at first. In your 20s, that steady paycheck feels empowering. You're like, okay, I'm grown now. In your 30s, it feels responsible. In your 40s, it can start to feel tight. In your 50s, it might feel like you're locked into something you can't easily exit. That's not because stable jobs are evil. Relax. It's because stability is designed for operational efficiency, not wealth acceleration. Companies want predictability. They don't design payroll systems to make you financially free. That's not the mission. Now, let's move to the math. Don't worry, no crazy formulas, just real talk. Back to the whiteboard. I draw 2 boxes. Box A, stable employee, fixed salary, 5% annual raise, 30-year career. Box B, asset builder, variable income, owns equity, owns appreciating assets. Let's say the employee earns a solid income, respectable, consistent. Over 30 years, that's a lot of money earned, no doubt. But earning and owning are not the same thing at all. If most of that income goes toward living expenses, mortgage, rent, food, transportation, insurance, taxes, then wealth accumulation depends entirely on what's left over. And here's the part nobody says out loud. Lifestyle inflation quietly eats raises for breakfast. You get a promotion, you upgrade your apartment, you buy a better car, maybe you move into a nicer neighborhood. It feels earned, it feels normal, it feels like progress. And hey, sometimes it is, but it shrinks your margin. And margin, that's the key word. Margin is the space between what you earn and what you need to survive, that breathing room, that buffer, that flex. Stable jobs often create just enough income to feel comfortable, but not enough margin to aggressively build assets unless you're extremely disciplined. And let's be honest, life gets expensive fast. Now let's talk about time. A 30-year career sounds long, it feels long, but in financial terms, 30 years of linear income growth rarely competes with 30 years of compounding asset growth. Compounding doesn't care how hard you work. It doesn't care if you clock in early. It cares about ownership. If you own appreciating assets, businesses, equities, real estate, their growth is not tied directly to your hours worked. It's tied to leverage, market growth, reinvestment, and scale. An employee's income grows step by step. Assets, though, they can grow exponentially. That's not hype. That's math. Now, let's zoom into risk, because this is where the stable job story gets tricky. We've been taught that a salary reduces risk, but in reality, a single income source is concentration risk. If 100% of your financial survival depends on one employer, that's not diversification, that's dependency. It feels stable because payments are regular, but if that one source stops, everything stops. Mortgage, bills, investments, lifestyle. Layoffs happen, industries shift, AI expands, companies restructure. Stability is often conditional, not guaranteed. So the very thing that feels safe can quietly increase fragility. That's wild when you really think about it. Now, zoom out to the system level. Companies are designed to maximize efficiency and profit. Salaries are an expense line. Shareholder returns are the priority. That's not evil, that's business. But here's the implication. Wage growth is often slower than asset growth. Corporate profits can rise faster than employee compensation. Who benefits most from corporate growth? Owners, shareholders, equity holders. Stable employees help build the machine, but rarely participate proportionally in ownership upside. That's not personal, that's structural. Over decades, this creates a widening gap between labor income and capital income. Labor income is taxed immediately. Capital income often gets preferential treatment. Labor income stops when you stop working. Capital income can continue without your daily presence. So if your entire 30-year plan depends only on labor income, you're playing a completely different game than someone building capital income. Completely different. Now here's the emotional trap. Stability creates comfort. Comfort reduces urgency. Reduced urgency delays asset building. You tell yourself, I'll invest more next year. I'll start something when things slow down. I'll take bigger risks after this promotion. But years pass, responsibilities grow, risk tolerance shrinks, lifestyle locks in, and suddenly the stable path becomes the hard-to-exit path. That's the 30-year lie. Not that stable jobs are bad, but that stability alone equals freedom. It doesn't. Now, let's be real. This is not about blaming you. The system pushes this mindset hard. Schools prepare workers, companies reward reliability, society praises consistency. Nobody sits you down at 18 and says, hey, make sure you build ownership alongside your paycheck. That conversation rarely happens. So, what's the exit strategy? Not quitting your job tomorrow, relax. Not reckless entrepreneurship, not burn the ships energy, not glamorizing chaos. The shift starts with awareness. Back to the whiteboard. I draw a circle around stable job. Then I draw arrows branching out. Skill ownership, equity participation, invested capital, side income streams. The goal isn't abandoning stability. It's preventing stability from becoming a cage. First, protect margin. Increase the gap between income and expenses on purpose. Without margin, you can't invest. Without investing, you can't compound. Second, convert labor income into asset ownership consistently. Even small amounts matter over decades. Ownership changes the growth curve. Third, reduce single-source dependency. Build portable skills. Explore small business experiments. Consider dividend income, maybe rental property. The specifics vary. The principle doesn't. Fourth, think in decades, not months, not just annual reviews. Ask, where does this role put me 5 years from now? Is my leverage increasing? Are my options expanding? Optionality is power. The ability to leave without financial collapse changes how you negotiate, how you take risks, how you live. That's real freedom. Now let's close this out, heart to heart. If you chose stability, you weren't foolish. You were responsible. You were rational. You were doing what most of us were told to do. But scripts are not laws. A stable job can be a powerful tool.
It can fund investments. It can give you structure while you build ownership. It can reduce chaos while you design your strategy. It only becomes a trap when it's the entire plan. The real shift isn't from stable to unstable. It's from dependent to diversified, from linear income to layered income, from working for money only to having money work with you. The 30-year lie isn't that stability is bad. It's that stability by itself guarantees freedom. It doesn't. But once you see that clearly, without fear, without shame, you gain something more valuable than a paycheck. You gain perspective.
And once you see the difference between earning and owning, between comfort and freedom, between stability and strategy, you can't unsee it. And that awareness, that's where real financial change begins. All right, if this hit home for you, you already know the vibe. Hit like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, tap that bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next.